To back or not to back?
That is the question. Mars 445 is a real-time card game for up to 4 players, in which you will launch a mission to Mars to establish a colony there. Effectively, you will try to run through your deck, playing cards in ascending order and of the same color into the middle of the table, or in descending order and switching colors in front of you. You try to be the first to complete a certain number of piles to call the end of the round. Then, points are counted up, bonuses are added, penalties are subtracted, depending on where your cards ended up. The first player past 150 points is the winner. What is fair within?
Alright, Georgios.
Yes,
We've played this now.
We have.
What's good about this game?
That I won handedly.
To say you won handily is an understatement.
It is, yes. I launched not only not prematurely as others, but I launched far and wide ahead. But that's not the point. The point is what's good about the game. And what's good about the game, I think most of all, obviously, is the art design.
It looks beautiful. It's very simple. It's very clean. There are lovely little touches when you have... There's one shot with a planet and a satellite, and the satellite has just been touched up with neon green, so it pops out of the cards. I mean, really, really beautiful art design, really beautiful graphic design.
Quite true.
And they don't make the mistake that a lot of sort of Kickstarters make when they have cards. The cards are perfectly arranged. They have the number and the suit on both sides of the card, the top and the bottom, so you're able to see them. The art design is very beautiful, but the gameplay.
The gameplay itself, well, it's a somewhat hectic gameplay. It's like I said, it's a real-time game. People are playing cards from their hand, looking through the 3 piles in front of them, the shelves in front of the warehouse shelves, trying to see if they can place any of those cards into the cards in the middle, which is where the piles collect, which you need to get your colony together, meaning piles you need to collect to finish the round. It reminds me, I think 80% of the game remind me of Ligretto or Dutch Blitz, which is also a real-time card game where you try to quickly play your cards into the middle of the table and everybody can play on any pile as long as the suit and the number fits. But this has a few extra kings added to it.
Now, I've not played Ligretto or Dutch Blitz, and when we were playing, you were saying that this is just Ligretto and Dutch Blitz, which I think if you like those games, you either will think, oh, another version, which is nice, or you will just go, this is a blatant rip-off. But for me, not knowing those games, I had a lot of fun. I'm terrible at real-time games, but I found it very funny, that whole thing where you eventually get the card and you go to put it down, but someone just beats you and they take your thing and you're just like, oh God, I want to strangle you right now. And this is not written in the rules, but I put this out there for the designers of the game. We made a house rule because to win, to launch your colony, you need to have certain finished piles of suits. We decided that when you get up to the highest number in that suit, you take it and you put it in front of you and you put it face down. So then there's a memory element to the game where you're not sure if you have the full complement of things to launch, because when you launch, if you don't have the requisite complement of stuff, you lose points.
Yeah, pretty much. I think one thing I'm going to mention, because I'm not sure how clear it is, launching means calling the end of the round. You can call the end of the round if you've collected the right piles. If the piles go up to certain numbers, some go up to 3, some go up to 6, some go up to 7, I believe. 4, 7, something like that. Basically, you're trying to collect these huge piles and the smaller piles and try to get them all together. And when you believe you have the right number, you launch, and then we basically looked at the cards, calculated our score accordingly. You're right, I compared it to Ligretto, and there are a lot of differences. Like the core mechanic, I think, is the same, but there are changes, and I feel that these changes don't substantially change the game, but they might add a little wrinkle to people who know Ligretto or Dutch Blitz and feel the game somewhat lacking. It gives you more options, it gives you a bit more control, and you're slightly less dependent on the luck of the draw.
Yeah, I found the game funny. I found it challenging, especially because my reactions are terribly slow. And all of the sort of gamery elements I found functioned.
Yeah, I think the gamery elements shouldn't be overstated in that it doesn't bog down the game. It just gives you a few more options. It gives you more flexibility. You have like these warehouse shelves in front of you, which are sort of piles you put to the side to you to expand your hand on. You can change your expanded hand in a way. You can sort of see, I have a red 4 waiting, but I first need to get rid of the green 3 that's on top of it. So you know what kind of piles you're looking out for. And then you still have the cards in your hand, which you can also play into the middle of the table. So these elements add to... It is gamery in a sense, but not so far that you start calculating, you start counting up things, that you start trying to figure out how many victory points you're going to score next turn or something like that. It adds more options and gives you more flexibility, and somehow this feeling of having a little bit more control over the game might be appealing to people who feel that Ligretto or Dutch Blitz is just too random.
Yeah, this is a game that has the superficial impression of being random, but actually when you play it a few times, it seems to be fairly controllable.
But what foulness lies beneath?
So,
yes.
Are you going to trash this game, Georgios?
Yes. No. Well, kind of. Almost. What I'm going to say is, if you own Dutch Blitz Ligretto and you like this game, I don't feel that Mars 445 changes it enough to justify a second copy. It's far too similar to these other games. If, on the other hand, you have simply played other people's copy before and you like it, this, I think, is a fair alternative. It does everything that the other game does. It does it well. There's nothing wrong. It adds a little bit of, not flavor, a little bit of complexity, but not too much. And yes, if you are in the mood for a real-time card-playing game where reaction and trying to figure out when to place what matters, then yeah, I think then it might work. Otherwise, yeah, you don't need this and Ligretto.
So now this we're going to caveat.
Yes.
Because this is a pre-production version, but the rules are dreadful.
Yes.
They make what is a simple game, quick game and a fun game, a real bear to get into. It's full of jargon. It uses sort of space-agey words that confuse. And now, as I said, this could all change when it comes to the professional version, but bear in mind that jargon, and I'm saying this to the designers now, jargon doesn't necessarily help, and in this way, the jargon in the rules are a definite negative.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think the jargon, and it is jargon, I believe it's supposed to transport the theme a bit, and to some extent it succeeds, but it also stands in the way of you understanding the game if you're not familiar with the predecessors. If you don't quite know how to handle the real-time aspect, how that works with your personal piles and with the other people's piles. They all have specific names. There's the warehouse, there's the back order, there's modules for the colony, and these terms are never fully explained. And I feel that if they were easy, let me attack this from a different angle. I feel that flavor text, at least terminology like this, should help in making the game's rules make more sense. The terminology should transport the purpose of what you have there. And I don't feel the terminology chosen in this iteration of the rules does that.
If terminology is there simply to convey flavor, it's not doing the job it should be.
Yeah.
Because the job of rules is to teach you how to play the game, not tell you a lovely bloody story, because if you want to read a lovely bloody story, go and buy a book.
Quite.
Caveated, because this is a pre-Kickstarter version.
Tobacco!
Get on with it!
So, the question, Georgios.
Once again.
To back or not to back?
Well, it's 4 decks as far as I understand, with lovely cards, lovely artwork, solid gameplay, even if the rules are somehow obstructing it. Occasionally, in this version at least. I think it's worth it if, as I said earlier, if you do not have a similar game. If you don't have Dutch Blitz in your collection, or maybe Dutch Blitz is worn out, cards ripped, whatever, and you want a fresh new version, then yes, maybe. But if you have Ligretto, if you have Dutch Blitz, if you have this type of real-time game, I do not see enough of a change. I think in this specific case, no, it's not worth it. But if you have no idea what these games are that I keep mentioning, if real time sounds like fun, this is a solid investment.
Kickstarter has a problem that a lot of the games that come out on Kickstarter aren't games. They're first iterations, they're prototypes, they haven't been play tested, they haven't been thought through, and when you get them to the table, you've spent 40 quid on something that may have beautiful production but fundamentally doesn't play. This game is not that.
Yeah.
This game is solid, it's a proper, light, fun game that can be played in 30 minutes. It is a great filler. It's a lot of fun. It has those moments where you just want to strangle the people across the other side of the table. It's pretty. It's enjoyable. I've never played Dutch Brits or Ligretto before, so for me, I would recommend you back it. It's a good one.
Also, it was, I think, 186 to 53, was it?
I don't remember that. If you would like your game considered for a Kickstarter preview,
or simply want to contact us,
then send a swift missive to our electronic mail at
infoperfected@gmail.com.
Mars 445 will be appearing on Kickstarter from September the 15th to October the 14th, 2016, with a minimum pledge level of $20. Please visit TGIKgamesblog.com for more details.